I think it's a cool way to segue into our next conversation as we're talking about kind of the interconnectivity of things and kind of getting a better situation as far as our money and different things like that. Kind of cool time to have a money talk. You ever thought about writing a book, can you?
Yeah, I have. I actually said that I was going to do that when I left the radio station, and I'm telling you, too. When I write my book, and it's going to be a tell-all, and it's pretty much going to be about my mother's situation too, but it's going to be good and juicy.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna be dropping some stuff. People are gonna be like, wow, So yeah, I've always thought about that.
Yeah, book or whatever. Like, we all have different financial things that we all kind of want to do, but a lot of us don't really have a plan to kind of get it in place. Don't know where to start. Don't know how to get our money right and stuff like that. So when you're in that case like that, you call an expert. And we got her on the show. We're going to have a money chat right now with the internationally renowned Kenya money coach. And she's the founder of Money Chat and author of the book Money Chat. Also, is she founder, CEO of a brand new company called Workspace Spark. Welcome to the show, Dorethia Kelly. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
We're doing good.
You guys are having some great conversations tonight. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're trying to. Got to make sure that we're kind of making ourselves right, because like the pandemic has kind of changed a lot of our reality. Like, what I'm saying? So like, not only do we have to think about what our next steps need to be politically and what we need to do about protecting our freedoms like that, but we also need to think about like what we're going to do in the interim, like the money sort of thing. So why don't you tell everybody kind of like your journey, like what started you off to be like, what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to do this full time, and not only am I going to do this for myself, but I'm going to do it full time for other people. What's your journey?
Absolutely. So I was a young single mother. I had my first daughter at 15. So it's a story in and of itself. My second daughter at 21. And I knew what it was like to be broke. So everything in my life, I was determined to accelerate so that my kids didn't feel like they didn't have because I was a single mother. I had a lot of support. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it rests on you. There are a lot of hard times. The money is funny a lot when it's just one income, and then you're on the lower end of the income spectrum anyway. Right. So as I began to teach myself about how to manage money, how to make more money, I then was like, oh, wow, I need to teach this to other people, because nobody in my circle knew this stuff. Like, everybody was just doing what they were told to do. They didn't know that they could be debt free. They didn't know that they didn't have to borrow for things. So I was like, everybody needs to know this. So I started telling everybody, and everybody was like, okay, Dorethia, we got it. All right, that's enough. So I turned it into a business. I started doing, I actually started in the community, started doing it for free, because that's how you started speaking and stuff. Nice. So I was doing money workshops for the community and all this good stuff. Just learning how to do it and getting my money together at the same time. And so that's how it all started. It was Money Chat was actually when Twitter first came out. It was an online Twitter chat. And I did that for 5 years. And then I said, okay, enough of this. And it was a friend of mine who said, you make talking about money really easy, really simple. You take the shame away from it. And I said, well, hey, I'm not anybody to judge anybody, because I made my own mistakes. So that's when I said, okay, I'm going to take the online conversation offline, and Money Chat was born. And so I wrote the book and went on from there. I had already been financial coaching for several years before I even thought of Money Chat. Before Twitter was a thing, I was already doing financial coaching. And then I started doing business coaching as I learned how to operate businesses, and things grew, nonprofit, all that good stuff. So that's how I got to being a financial coach, business expert, writer, author, speaker, all that good stuff.
Nice. So Dorethia, let me ask you something. There's so many people out there that want to go into, their own business, start their own business and become entrepreneurs. But what advice would you give to someone that's saying, okay, this is something that I want to do, but they might not have their personal finances right?
I say get them right. I say, look, because one thing that has shown itself to be true every time is that it's going to transfer right over into that business. If you don't know how to manage your own money, there's no magic happening when you start a business. On top of that, you won't have any money for that business, because all of us who are entrepreneurs know we had to put our own money in. No, there was no magic. There was nothing coming down. So you have to have your own finances in order, because when things get tough, you have to know how to operate a business financially and operationally on the day. So definitely start. So let me give you some practical things they can do. Number one, I know everybody hates this, and everybody tries to find fancy words for it: budget, spending plan, call it whatever you want, but you need to do it. You have to put it on paper how you are spending your money. Put it in an app. Like, we've got everything at our fingertips right now.
You ain't got no excuse.
None. Like really none. So whatever you need to do to know where your money is going. It's money in, money out. That's it. It's simple math. Money in, money out. Just know where your money is going. Don't be ashamed or discouraged if you're in the red every month, right? Now, we live in the internet age. What can you do to bring some money in so that you can get out of the red and also fund your dream? So don't quit your job. Let me tell you, if I hear one person talking about stepping out on faith, honey, you are going to need a whole lot of faith and everything else when the bills are due. So listen, I love God. I believe in faith. I believe in stepping out on faith. I believe in having a strategy too. And that day job that you hate, that gets on your nerves, change your mindset. Like, yeah, you hate the job, but guess what? It's funding my dream. That's okay. I'm gonna keep going in here with this boss that I can't stand, doing this work that don't mean nothing, because I'm gonna use that paycheck and fund this dream. So, hey, that's where it's at. So,
Dorethia, obviously I'm familiar with your presentations at the church and that sort of thing. So I know your philosophy based on your finance and that sort of thing. And also I know the book as well. The book, inside of the book, you talk about a 10-year plan. Sometimes folks ain't trying to wait 10 years, but so can we avoid the 10-year plan? Like, can we have a 10-month plan?
Yeah, so the 10-year plan is not like you got to wait 10 years before you see some relief. No, right. The 10-year plan is about, so this is what I tell people. I tell them to have a financial life plan. I believe in that. We plan for everything else in our lives. Well, some of us sometimes, but you have to have a financial life plan. So what is your plan for 1 year? What is your plan for the next 3 years? What is your plan for the next 5? What is your plan for the next 10? Where do you want to be? Because if I tell you where I want to be in the next 10 years, okay, now what's the action that I'm going to take to get there? Because we can talk about it all day long, but we got to what? Be about it. Got to make it happen. Yeah. So I believe in creating those plans and adjusting. Now, the plan that I made for myself at 20, of course, 10 years later at 30, there was some twists and some turns. But at least I had something written down that I could go back to and take a look at, that kind of thing. So to answer your question, what I do is I walk people through, okay, what does your next 6 months look like? Your next year? It's the same as having short-term and long-term goals. What do you want to achieve in this next year? Maybe you want to pay off some debt. Maybe you want to start putting more in your 401k. Maybe you want to start being able to save more, build up your emergency fund, whatever that is. And then you get some people, maybe you're in a financial emergency, like people are going through some things.
Pandemic.
If you're in a financial emergency, how do we right the ship? How do we get you to where you can get that burden off your shoulders and you can calm down and woosah? And then now because I can't talk to anybody about wealth building if they got all these bills and people calling them and trying to feed their family. Like, you have to address that first. That's where we start.
Sounds like a plan. Dorethia Kelly live with us right now on the Everybody Mad Live podcast. Let me ask you something, Dorethia. There's, we talked about, how people get very frustrated on the job, and, a lot of people don't like their jobs, but guess what? We got to do what we got to do. But in a situation where you say, look, I'm not getting paid what I'm worth, what I'm valued at, how do you really go about asking for a raise, asking for more money on the job?
Well, a couple things. Number one, be accountable to yourself. Make sure that you're doing everything. And having been a leader, I know that a lot of people say, I'm worth this, but you're not show me this year. You're not going to get anything to go by. Because remember this, I want everybody to remember that your leader has a leader. And before they can go to their leader and say, hey, give Dorethia this money, they have to tell them why.
Right.
And and there's no BS here. Like these folks have been doing this. This is their life's work. So they know the criteria for giving people raises. So that's over here to the side. Mm-hmm. So you have been rocking and rolling. You are a star employee. You deserve it. What you do is you document throughout the year, anytime you got kudos, anytime you solved a problem, anytime you saved the company money, document that throughout the year. Don't wait till the end of the year when it's review time, because you're going to forget. Like, that is the worst torture, to try to have to figure that all out. But document that throughout the year so that when it is time to ask for the raise, you've got a list, and they can't, I'm not going to say they can't fight it, because companies can do whatever they want, but you're making a good case to say, hey, I've done A, B, C, and D for you. You know, and then when you ask for a raise, know what you want. Don't just gonna say, hey, give me a raise. Okay, cool, here's 1%. You ask for a raise. Know what you want. Know what the industry pays. Know what other companies are paying for your role, or for the role or promotion that you're asking for. Understand your company culture and what those pay grades like, okay, so HR always tries to hide what the pay grades are, right? But we all end up finding them, right?
Right. Somebody
on Glassdoor.
Right.
Exactly. So exactly. So know what those are and go prepared. One thing I want everyone to remember, I watched people in large organizations, and I will say this, and I hope it's okay for me to say this, but I learned from men. Men will go on a job, they'll be in that bad boy for 2 years, and then they're on to something else. And then 2 years, and then they're on to something else more, bigger. So they're gone. Like in 5 years, they're like the VP, and you're like, wait a minute, they used to be an analyst with me. And so and then from mentors too, to watch and see. And so I tell all my clients, not that you should be leaving a job every 2 years, but you should be getting promoted. You should be going up every 2 to 3 years. And 3 is a stretch. Like if there's a situation and, okay, but every 2 to 3 years, you should be getting a promotion or looking for something else.
Because it includes more money, right?
Boom. That's my next thing. You cannot get mad when you stay in a job, in a role for years and years and years, and you're getting those 3% increases, right? Then they bring somebody else in. That person's making 20% more than you. And you're like, wait a minute, I've been here doing this job. Well, guess what? When you switch jobs, go to another role, you can negotiate up to it, and even often more, 20% increase in your salary. Now, or in your salary, and if you feel like you're underpaid, start your base at the industry standard. If you're underpaid, don't start there. Start the industry standard and go for the 20% above that. A lot of people, I had people come back to me and say, Dorethia, you were so right. I should have left this job a long time ago. Got a job making more money than they even thought they could make, because they stayed in this position, listening to a manager say, oh, we just don't have it. I can't do it. So,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, Dorethia, it's tax season. It's also STEMI season. People are getting their stimulus checks, and all sorts of things are coming in for that. So, obviously, you serve a lot of clients, some for personal finance, nonprofits you serve, and things like that. What's something that you would hate to hear that one of your folks did with their taxes?
Okay, so I want to dispel this misnomer. One time on Facebook, I posted that I went shopping or did something, And one of my clients was like, "Well, you went shopping?" I was like, "Yeah, I shop. I've been broke before. I ain't going back there. I know what it's like. I'm back. I'm in
Right.
now." So I say all that to say it's okay to spend, but this has been a rough year for a lot of folks. And so what can happen is, because you haven't had money in so long, when you finally get some money, you feel like, well, it's been a rough year. I need to go do something for me because it's been so tough. What I would like to see people do that don't have an emergency fund or have bills that are behind is to take care of that. If you want to treat yourself, take $20, put something to the side, get something real small and light. But go ahead and get yourself on a better footing. Number one, some people, if you had a lot of kids and different things like that, yes, you'll get a lot of money. But the average person is not getting enough money to just blow and go crazy. That's like
I ain't getting that.
it's a myth. Like, right. It's like a myth. It's like this thing that's out there, like, oh, people are getting all this money and they're just gonna go crazy. Like in real life, people are honestly just trying to pay their bills. They're just trying to make it. So it's like, I want to say urban legend, but I don't know who put that out there, but it's crazy. People are not out here just blowing money. People are trying to feed their families. The ones who are going to work now, trying to put gas in their car to go to work because they've been without work. Right. So, that's not, people are doing the best that they can. But yes, do not blow it. If you don't have $1,000 in an emergency fund and you are behind on bills, pay that stuff. You've been living on credit cards because you've been unemployed. No judgment at all. You got to do what you have to do. Pay the credit card.
Because that bill gonna come due at some point.
Come back. It's definitely gonna come back. I'm really enjoying just the jewels and the nuggets of information that you're just giving us. Dorethia, let me ask you something regarding relationships. I just had a conversation with one of my buddies that's been dating this girl for the past 3 months, and they're moving in with one another. First of all, I thought it was a little bit too soon. It's just only
stay out of their business. Stay out of their business.
I'm with you. Can your men do this?
3 months.
I got brothers and stuff. Don't put. I wish I could just do a big group hug for the fellas. Listen, get your own place, fellas. Get your own place. But go ahead.
Okay. And see. Okay. So you're with me on that. So yes. They're shacking up. It's only been 3 months, and I'm like, well, where is she financially? He's like, well, I shouldn't be. I can't be asking her about her finances so early. But I'm like,
y'all moving in together.
But y'all moving in together. So my question is when is it the right time to discuss money and finances in a relationship?
Well, definitely before you move in with each other. I think at the point, at the point that somebody says, hey, let's just, I love you, you love me, let's move in together. That's the point to do some math together. Sit down. I know people don't think this is right, but like, what's her credit looking like? What's his credit looking like?
Yes.
Whose name is going to be on this lease?
Yes.
And did you break your last lease? Like, how's this going to roll out?
Right.
So it's, to me, even if you ignore the fact that they're moving in together, I think that it's important to talk about money once you get to we're in a committed relationship stage. When we're just like when you're dating, you kind of can watch and see what's going on, and you can ask a few little questions. But if you're just dating, it's like legit not really any of your business. It's not until you guys get to the point of saying, okay, we're going to be together and we're committed, then now let's have some serious conversations about money and how you're spending money. Me and my sister used to tease because when you're dating, you don't care how he spends his money because, hey, it ain't your money. But when you get with him, you care a lot because now it's our money. How you spend your money affects me. So it's very important to have that conversation early on. Couples get married and don't find out until later after the honeymoon and everything how each other handles money and manages money. Yeah. They don't do counseling. Like, I don't know why couples do not do financial counseling before when they say they're getting engaged, before even the engagement. This is a tip for the fellas, and I learned this from one of my old pastors. Before you have that ring, do marriage counseling. Because how many fellas lost the ring? You're not getting that ring back. She ain't giving it back.
She ain't giving it back.
What is that? That's her. You know how in war, when they win the war, the spoils. That's the spoil of the war. You're not. And you spent all that money.
Mm-hmm.
Take it as a loss. We're talking with financial coach and expert and author and entrepreneur and all sorts of awesomeness, Dorethia Kelly. Let's shift gears a little bit, and because I want to be honored of your time. But let's talk a little bit about your next venture. We know you did the Money Chat, the book. Now we have the Workspace Spark that you did. And this has flourished during the pandemic. So it's a subscription-based business that has flourished during a pandemic.
Yes, it did. And I was so, I was a little nervous at first. So I launched in March of last year. So the business has been open longer. I did 1.5 years of research. So that, Kenya, to one of your other questions, you have to do research when you are preparing to be a business owner. People just want to open up your shingle. I knew how to run an online business, a consulting business, but I didn't know anything about the subscription box business. So I researched for 1.5 years and did some testing and focus groups. I worked with coaches. I'm a business coach. You can't have pride. Like, I'm a business coach and I keep a business coach because you always going to that next level. So I did that for 1.5 years. How this came about was, as a speaker, I'm speaking at corporate events, speaking at different events on career and money. And what I found was everybody wants to make more money. They don't know why they're not making more money, but they don't understand how their personal brand at work comes off, or how they may be sabotaging themselves, or maybe they're doing really well, they just need that extra boost. So as I was having these conversations, I was thinking about, how can I help them understand? So I did a talk, career and money and all that good stuff. And then I would think about, okay, what kind of gifts can you give your mentee, your staff, this kind of thing. So it started as, I was just going to be a gift box. And then I learned about the subscription business. And I said, okay, this is good. That's recurring money every month. Let's dig into this. And so I coupled the subscription, the actual things you get in the box, with the online trainings and the experts and this kind of thing. And that is how we came up with Workspace Spark, career growth subscription box. Yes, thank you. I see you have it on the screen. That is it. And it's been great. So we've been getting some really good press, and we've been getting some good shout outs and corporate orders. Yes. Awesome corporate orders. We welcome them.
Right.
Exactly. We ship all over the world. It has been a great experience. It is also, like, I don't want to paint this rosy picture. Like, it's work. The subscription model is a lot of work. A lot of people reach out to me and they want to know how to get into this business. And it's not for everybody, because you need money. I'm sorry. I feel like this about every business. Yes, maybe you can start it with $300, but you got to flip that $300 and turn it into something else, because this stuff costs money. That pretty box, box. I say this in every interview. The box was my biggest shocker. The price of that box, I still cringe when I have to place that box order. It's so
expensive because it's custom and real sturdy, and you got to make sure it's the right size and weight and all that.
Yes, unless you've got a real tiny box or a digital subscription type of thing, it can be pretty costly. So it's been going really well. I'm very, very grateful. It has been a learning lesson for me. Every month, it's a learning lesson.
That's awesome.
Wow. Well, everyone, again, this is Dorethia Kelly. We really appreciate you coming on the Everybody Mad podcast and blessing us with some gems of knowledge with, finances and, starting a business and entrepreneurship. Tell everybody how they can get in contact with you.
Absolutely. So I am at Dorethia Kelly on all social media. Please follow me there, and please follow at Workspace Spark as well. It's actually the celebration of 5 years of the book Money Chat. So I'm actually doing an update and revision, and we're going to do a big launch toward the end of the year. So please stay connected so I can share that information.
Nice. One more thing. What sort of services? If someone wants to kind of get you to be a part of your search, well, to help them out.
Yes, absolutely. I now do mostly group financial and business coaching. I have a
nice
Facebook group and everything, so they can reach out to me at DoretheaKelly.com, and I can send them that information.
Nice, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Dorethia Kelly, she's the founder and CEO of Money Chat and also Workspace Spark. Thank you so much for being a part of our show and imparting your wisdom on it. And thank you for being a friend of the Everybody Mad Live podcast. Thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you guys for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah, it was. Thank you so much.
Take care. She was excellent.
She's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I can't wait to watch this back, because I'm gonna be writing down.
I know. I can't wait. Now, we talked about having the Sunday school thing. So I was thinking about her chopping up her interview and putting it on the Sunday, because that was definitely some gems that she does. But she helps a lot of people from the personal finance to like all their goals. She works with some nonprofits and all sorts of other people. So a lot of your goals that you wanted to do, a lot of people wanted to do with their money and stuff like that. She helps people put them into action, because I know a lot of us think about things and talk about stuff for years and years and years, but never get that plan together to actually make it happen. Yeah. So,
it's important to have someone like Dorethia on your team too, because at the end of the day, if you want to grow, sometimes you do have to make an investment, and it's investing in yourself and your business. So why not? You know what I mean? Like, we've talked to my financial planner before, and you met people on my team. Like, but you have to really invest in yourself if you want to be able to elevate and grow.
Yep, and don't be and that's a good point too. You can't always think that you have all the answers to everything.
Yeah.
Never going into it. Like, I think it's pride that a lot of us, like, we think we can kind of figure it out, or if somebody did it, like, I can figure it out. But like, not realizing that a lot of people get some sort of coaching, some sort of assistance from people who have some expertise in that. So like, I think that's definitely one of the things too. And then professional development. Like, you got to not only pay the right people to be on your team, but you got to take some time to kind of feed yourself more knowledge about whatever. Like, I'm learning about diversity and inclusion right now, or whatever. I want to learn some more about digital marketing and social media and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like, you always got to be adding more to your repertoire as far as what you know, because it's all about your own brand. And if you ain't building your brand, ain't nobody else building it. So like, you can't expect to get nowhere. Not for real.
Exactly. And we all have to grow in life. That's what life is all about. It's about growing and elevating.
Yep.
Everybody Mad Live podcast. Leave your comments. Solo.2/everybody mad.